Hey guys, it's Jessica here, corporate recruiter, and I am looking at this article titled 23 Companies Hiring Like Crazy in November. It is an article that is published by Glassdoor. Glassdoor basically posts out a blog every month and provides companies that are hiring hundreds of jobs, just a really robust number of positions each month. So we're approaching the end of the year, but companies are not slowing down. Most likely the companies that were listed are hiring because they're looking at their needs for 2020, and they're hiring in areas where they're finding that they'll need the most help when it comes to growing in 2020, and what their goals and focus areas are going to be. So I'm going to kind of skim the article. I will link the article below as well. Overall, I think that when I looked at the article and was looking at the companies, mostly the companies are based in healthcare, IT services, and I would say there's also some that were more focused around customer service as well. So just looking here, the number one company they listed was Carilion Clinic, and they're hiring in Virginia for primarily IT. The second was Biolife Plasma Services, so this is medical. And then we have Rackspace, which is IT services. And I do want to say as well, the majority of the jobs listed where companies are hiring are in Texas, specifically Austin, Texas. We know there's a lot of growth there. I mean, Apple's moving there. A lot of companies are moving into Texas in general, but the majority of these companies listed Texas, specifically Austin, as where they're hiring. There were also a few that listed that they were open to remote work as well. And I would say, in summary, a lot of the jobs were IT based, but at the same time, there's a lot of companies that are looking across the board with openings. Whenever you're looking at growth with any company, a lot of times you'll need people to hire talent. So there's HR opportunities, there's marketing opportunities, there's accounting and finance opportunities as well to go along with that. So the next one, number 4, is Cook Children's Healthcare System, and they are primarily hiring in Texas, Fort Worth, Abilene, Austin, you name it. And again, another healthcare company. Acxiom, they're hiring in Arkansas and Texas, Austin, Texas. Nikola, and some of these companies I'm not very familiar with, but when you go to the article, you can click on the company name and it'll take you to their Glassdoor page. One thing to note about all these companies that I'm looking at is that they all have pretty good reviews on Glassdoor. So Glassdoor is a site where companies will have their profile, some information about their company, what it's like to work there, and also job opportunities as well. But the really great thing about Glassdoor is that I think is awesome if you're looking for a job and you're looking for information about a company is that employees can go to the company page and review the company as well, and just you can literally skim companies and look at their ratings on a 1 to 5 scale and get a sense of whether it might be a good place to work or not. Taking it with a grain of salt, of course. Everyone has a different experience, but in general it can give you a good idea of whether the company might be a pretty good place to work when you think about offering good benefits and pay, work-life balance, things like that. So Benchling was the next one. They're hiring in Boston and San Francisco. Heavy tech, it looks like. I won't go and list off all of these companies here, but I did notice a few that I am familiar with. Shutterfly was one that I'm familiar with, in the IT services space, you know, when you want to find photos or whatever. Asurion is another that I was familiar with, another tech services company. One that I just thought the name was funny. It's called The Real Real. So I hadn't heard of that company before, but you can go in and click on the company, like I said, and find out about them. But they're based in California, and they are an authenticated luxury consignment company. I've never heard of them before. Oyo is another. A Place for Mom is another one that I was familiar with. I've used them in the past to help with finding a place for a family member. Love's Travel Stops and Country Stores. I think we've all seen those on our road trips. H&R Block is hiring. Obviously, tax season is coming up and approaching pretty fast, so they'll be hiring like crazy, of course, and it looks like they're hiring all over the place. McKesson is another company I'm familiar with. I think most people are. And those were the last of the companies that I'm at least somewhat familiar with. When I was looking at the article yesterday, I noticed that the companies were all ranked at least a 3-star rating on Glassdoor. So like I said before, there's a 1 to 5 rating. Benchling was rated as 5 stars. I think it might be a smaller company, so not as many reviews, but that's always a good sign that employees like where they're working at. When you look at the article too, you'll see highlights of what the employees are saying. So for example, for H&R Block, there's employees talking about the amount of training that's offered, so that's really good. With McKesson, people are talking about just the positive work environment and nice leadership that they have. So check it out. You know, if you're looking for a job, even though it is towards the end of the year, I think it's nice to see that companies are still hiring. A lot of time people think that towards the end of the year it's going to be harder to find jobs. That is not always the case. I've been in different work environments where I am completely swamped with the number of job openings that we have that we need to fill ASAP, and it can be harder for us from the company standpoint to attract talent because, you know, towards the end of the year, holidays are approaching. People don't typically like to change jobs necessarily when the holidays are coming up, you know, big changes during a time when you may want more stability around the holidays when you're really focused on your family. And so it can be a challenge from the company standpoint, but it could be a benefit for a job seeker because the tighter the market is, the better you can actually sell yourself, and you know, you have more of a likelihood of being seen by a recruiter, your resume being seen, and actually going through a recruitment process, versus when you have so many applicants, it's harder for you to actually get a leg up and be seen. So anyway, just a real quick video I wanted to share because I thought it was a cool article. I'll be looking out for these blog posts by Glassdoor. I know a lot of companies will post these articles about companies that are hiring, but I thought this one was pretty good. A lot of companies that I hadn't even heard of before. Again, a lot of hiring in Texas, which I already knew, but this article really kind of brought it home with just the number of job opportunities there, primarily in tech, but really across the board from what I saw. Like I said, I mentioned marketing jobs and HR jobs and customer service jobs all across the US, and also some that were open to remote. So remote work is always good, a great opportunity. I'm working remotely myself, so yeah, I think it's a good article. Check it out. Leave a comment if you're interested in hearing or seeing more videos like this, and let me know what you think about the article. Will you apply to any of the companies? Do you work at any of these companies? Do you like these kind of articles where, you know, they're coming out with these top companies to work for? Let me know. Leave me a comment, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.